businesses embrace digital transformation, AI and creativity are shaping the future of brand engagement. In this episode of Storyboard 18 presents Global Pioneers Summit, we explore how technology is redefining industries, marketing strategies, and storytelling, bringing together experts who are leading this revolution. A high-energy panel of experts debated a pressing question: will AI or human creativity drive the future of marketing? The discussion unpacked innovation, strategy, and the evolving consumer landscape.
Let me begin this conversation by asking you, what is the kind of impact that you have seen AI have on your organization, on WPP, over the past many years?
In a world now where it takes seconds to create ads, to be able to test ads against synthetic audiences, to use machine learning to predict activation, and then to optimize content across channels. And in a world where that is optimized, I would argue really the only differentiator is human creativity. The challenge is for agencies is who gets there first, who creates that end-to-end solution, and then adds additional services on top of that for creativity. That's really the challenge now.
Ruchira, over to you. For a category like yours, marketing in premium lifestyle category like alcohol, it relies on emotions and human experiences. So tell us, can AI truly capture the human emotion while reaching out to your consumer?
Human decision-making behavior is at its very core irrational. I think that's been established. Nobel Prizes have been won for it. If that is the case, then what's at the heart of it is not going to be an algorithm, but how you break through to what drives those emotions and how you therefore impact decision-making. Personalization is where AI has today arrived in terms of customized solutions. My belief is when you make that creative breakthrough, that's when magic will truly happen.
Over to you, Rohit. Banking as a sector, we have seen how it has been at the front seat of personalization, which Ruchira spoke how AI has helped you guys ace it. So tell us some of your learnings and how did you make it more personal with your bots, with your chat platforms?
So, the data is both a boon and a bane. In the case of, we possibly as a bank have almost all the data. The biggest use of AI is when actually it can look at realms and realms of data, predict customer behavior and do personalization.
How can Sanjay? How can you create or AI help demonstrate measurable business impact and growth?
What AI is doing is with the compute power, it's creating optionalities at an incredibly rich pace for you. So now from that optionality, you're spending a lot more time saying, okay, what makes sense to do? And I can make those choices, understand the feedback on those choices, to your point around the measurable business results. So you can configure your systems, you can configure the business to understand the intelligence of the choices you're making and make different choices and kind of figure out what value parameters you want to start to measure and improve on.
Thank you so much. Thanks for a very, very insightful panel. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Raj Shamani, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and social media influencer, shared insights on the art of influence, personal branding, and creating meaningful impact through storytelling.
So tell me, Raj, when you started off, did you always, back then, did you always know that you wanted to be a creator? Did you always think of yourself like that?
I still don't think I'm a creator. And I'll tell you why. I started with a very selfish agenda. That was, I want to learn about health, wealth, relationships, and country insights. That's it. I was so curious to learn about these things. And I was not able to figure out a way to learn in a better way. So I thought, why not I call people who have certain insights on these topics and I start asking them questions. That's what I wanted to do, and I still do the same thing till date. So I don't think I'm a creator. I think I'm just a curious kid who wants to do something big.
What is your secret sauce to make, the story of or your content relatable to your audience?
So every time I create content, every 3 months, I ask myself just 5 questions, and I answer those 5 questions, then build my persona, and then try to build the content.
What are those 5 questions?
So, which city am I from? what am I doing today? What are my dreams? What are my challenges? And what is my age? Now, what do I mean by this? Because this gives me persona of who is Raj and what Raj is going to become. So I only want to attract people who are in the similar journey with me because then they can relate with me. So I only talk to those people. So let's say I'm someone in 20s whose biggest problem is wants to break out and build an empire and is from Indore trying to pay his bills in Mumbai. What can I learn? What do I need to learn so that I make it big in a tier one city while still chasing my dreams? These are the things that I ask myself. If the answers are same, then I create the same kind of content. Every 3 months, every 6 months, the answer is different. And then whatever that answer is, I try to create content in that level.
Thank you so much, Raj. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
today.
you. Thank you so much, guys.
Experts from the gaming and marketing industries explored how creativity, community building, and immersive storytelling are propelling India's gaming revolution and redefining brand innovation.
So, Enjoy, let me start with you and straight away dive in. India's gaming industry has witnessed explosive growth, particularly in mobile gaming. How do you now see brands and marketers tapping into this big space to engage meaningfully with, of course, India's ever expanding gaming community?
A lot of ways this was about bound to happen. We are now almost a $4 billion industry in India. We have around 750 million odd internet users in India.
Yes.
So gaming was supposed to anyways become center stage. Now that it has, BGMI being one of the early adopters at exactly the point where the internet revolution took place, gave us a tremendous amount of community and brand love that we could do. Recent auto company launched one of their games, one of their cars inside our game, right? So that's a very cutting edge example of what all is possible, which is incredible, right?
Rahul, gaming culture extends far beyond the game itself. It influences fashion, music, memes, social media trends. So tell us, how can brands really leverage this cultural moments for making like a game or a gaming platform? How do they make the most of it?
I think first and foremost, if you're not a gamer, don't do it. Because, and for us also, a lot of times, like even this thing we are doing right now, the people driving in our teams are the people who live on the game. It's not driven by us. We actually literally present, there are youngsters in my team, we're presenting to them and they're telling us this won't work. Authenticity of it, are you just trying to ride on a wave, or are you genuinely trying to be part of that community, understand the community, and do something for the community, right? So yeah, that the authenticity is going to be the most important thing to get right for brands.
Thank you so much for being so candid and sharing some beautiful stories, and wish you the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A dynamic panel of thought leaders discussed strategies to navigate modern media complexities, ensuring credibility, maximizing performance, and staying ahead in an evolving digital landscape.
What are the biggest challenges that marketers face today, staying agile and efficient in this, rapidly evolving digital space?
Especially with the post-pandemic world. I mean, there has been a rapid evolution of digital landscape, as we know, and there's a complete fragmentation today of the media landscape. So the need of the hour is an integrated marketing approach, where messages are spread across all mediums so that you reach out to different consumer perspectives.
Muti, tell us.
So I'd like to think of it like being a chef who has to cook a broth or has to cook a meal. And there are a lot of guests who are going to come, and everybody has got a preference for something or the other. Plus, we are living in a world of intermittent fasting. मैं थोड़ा ही खाऊंगा, मैं 24 घंटे से मेरा उपवास चल रहा है. So all of this also happens. So the biggest thing that I struggle from, and I bought the chef deliberately, is what should I make? What is my story? So as a marketer, I struggle for stories because the attention of my audiences is fragmented into multiple pieces. Audiences are absorbing media 24/7 all the while. And therefore, to be a relevant brand, how do I go out and create a lot of stories?
Saurabh, over to you. Given the complexities of what these two gentlemen spoke about right now, what are some of the key metrics that marketers should focus on in 2025?
I think marketers today need to move just beyond measuring clicks and CTRs. They also need to measure what's moving people. If I talk from the perspective of brand, or if I talk from the perspective of performance, there are metrics like conversions, ROAS, etc. They are to stay. But marketers also need to add a smarter layer of measuring viewability and attention and asking questions like, was my ad actually seen? What was the time in view of my ad? Was my ad engaged with? Was there a focus on my ad? Because there are a lot of accidental clicks that are happening today. There are a lot of fake lead generation that's happening today. So it's not just about being on screen, it's about being in focus. So I think marketers today are connecting the dots and including media quality, attention, and outcomes together.
What is that one key prediction that you would like to make for digital advertising going forward in 2025?
I think one trend that I have personally seen is growing and which is here to stay is connected TV. You know, we all know that digital is growing, video is growing, and within that, CTV has taken a premium space. In 2023, there were almost 28 million CTV households. By end of 2025, there'll be 50 million CTV households. And because of that, ad-supported streaming is on rise, and why not? CTV gives much more measurability, and brands can track and optimize on real-time basis.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us, Tushar, Murthy, and Saurabh.
Velchami Sankaralingam, President of Product and Engineering at Zoom Communications, shared his insights on the future of work, hybrid collaboration, and leadership in the digital age.
At Zoom, we had sort of a front row seat with this whole evolution. One thing we learned is that there is no one size that fits every company. Every company, they go at their own pace, and the hybrid is very different for every company. There is no one size that fits all. Okay, I think everybody may have their own way of doing things, and don't assume that you're going to make it, you're going to get it right the first time. Okay, so you need to start trying sooner than later. Don't wait to be perfect, because there is going to be a learning that you're going to have.
Michael Sheldrick, author and founder of Global Citizen, engaged in a fireside chat with Rita Ramamurthy Gupta, author and columnist, to explore how reading serves as a bridge to deep work, innovation, and change.
Michael, tell us about a book that inspired you and made you believe that the Global Citizen platform was indeed a possibility.
A book that really struck me when I was in university, just finishing high school, called The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck. And The Road Less Traveled, the name of the book is taken from a poem by the American poet David Frost, who famously said that two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And for that, it has made all the difference. This taught me to go out and start my own organization, Global Citizen, and have confidence in that. And really, I think at the end of the day, believe that, listen, what's the worst that can happen? If it's failure, there's still going to be law firms there for you in a few years' time. So don't stress the small stuff. So I would definitely recommend M. Scott Peck's book, The Road Less Traveled, for those looking to take the road less traveled by.
Experts engaged in a dynamic discussion on transforming for the future, emerging trends in AI tech, exploring how AI is revolutionizing industries, reshaping strategies, and unlocking new possibilities.
Ajay, let's begin this conversation with you. Coming in from a traditional sector like cement and construction, how is AI transforming your business?
I think we've always known that people who are building homes in India, they're very young, right? 32 is the average age, which is not what used to be at our parents' time. Now, a 32-year-old fellow, biggest project of his life, doesn't know where to start with. To that person doing a journey which is irreversible, how do you help him? I think we've used AI to possibly solve that. Was it possible earlier with the earlier technologies? Not necessarily. If you are planning your home, you always think an architect and an engineer is the domain of people who are big. Can I reach that level of efficiency, that level of finesse to create, again, the biggest project of his or her life in rural Barabanki? Possibly, yes.
Brijesh, over to you. Coming from Marico, tell us, what is AI solving for you?
Over the period of time, we've deployed, seen all of these things mature. So we deploy it in, let's say, supply chain planning solutions. We deploy it in terms of studying the market trends. We deploy it, some bit of it in terms of converting those market trends into possible product offerings. And we deploy it in terms of content. So yes, have we kind of really mastered it? No, it's moving too fast to say that we've mastered it, but have we dug our teeth into it? Do we understand it? Definitely yes.
Banking as a sector has been one of the early adopters with so much of data that you've been sitting in, targeting the consumer, using AI effectively. So tell us about the journey.
Banks have a lot of rich data and something that you really trust and you really feel like it's really part of you. So while AI is a great enabler, there's also a catch when it comes to financial data and when it comes to the way you're using this in order to build that relationship with the consumer. I think one big shift that we are seeing is the way the entire thing is more predictive than reactive. So yes, there are many aspects where it's kind of enabling banks, and I think it's true for any sector today that we see the impact.
Over to you, Anuradha. Now, in a diverse market like India, how do you see AI impacting the digital payments ecosystem?
AI isn't one beast, it's a many-headed hydra. It is every part of my business needs to be able to use the power of the technology to make it more efficient and more effective. The tech world and the fintech world is very much in the digital space. So you learn from the digital ecosystem and you apply in the digital ecosystem. So it was a bit easier. So I believe that it is really all pervasive now.
How do you see at India shaping the global AI ecosystem? And what are some of the unique strengths that we are sitting on right now? What are some of the big strengths that we have?
India, I think, is one of the leading users of AI. I think we are fast to get on hype cycles, but AI is out of the hype cycle, I would say now. And we are beyond the early hype into, beyond the labs into what I believe is real productivity, real ability to kind of, generate meaningful returns, both on the bottom line in terms of costs. We are seeing a lot of adoption and companies seeing a lot of savings. And in terms of the top line, in terms of expanding reach, personalizing content, all kinds of things, right?
Amrit Acharya, founder and CEO at Zetwork, shared his insights in a compelling fireside chat. Made in India, built for the world, highlighting India's rise as a global manufacturing powerhouse and a hub of innovation.
Made in India is fast becoming built for the world, and you're at the forefront of that transformation. But Amrit, India has been always recognized as a global service hub. What, according to you, have been the key shifts that are kind of, positioning the country as a strong contender in global manufacturing?
It was always something that was around the corner. Like the benefit that India gets is it's such a large domestic economy from a consumption standpoint that the critical mass of scale that you need initially was always available. In today's world, in the last 3-4 years, especially where there's whole China plus one mix shift, people want to diversify. That is what is creating the current opportunity which India has. And if you take just the sheer size, India is the only country which can potentially be an alternative to China. There's just no one else. So that's what's creating the opportunity today.
Trailblazing professionals explored how AI is reshaping industries, redefining strategies, and unlocking new possibilities in transforming for the future emerging trends in AI tech.
What are some of the things that you are experimenting with right now, like, that has, your client interest?
India has 1 billion guys who are connected on mobility. And India has these bunch of kids, Zen Alpha kids as we call it, our kids who are latching onto gaming platforms like Roblox and Minecraft, right? Whether it's guys at the bottom of the pyramid or at the elitist of Indian, you can still go out there, blend these tech trends with creativity and create solutions which resonate with audiences out there.
How do you provide, this hyper personalized experiences without, crossing the ethical boundaries? Because ethics and AI is like the larger question that people are asking across the world. So how do you do that?
We pretty much started as a cloud company. So pretty much everything and anything that we do had like traditional AI models built in it. So whether it's risk, whether it's compliance, whether it's underwriting to policy, and it's kind of now infused using CX. So
Sheetal, over to you. For a co-working space like office, how are you redefining the customer experience using AI for space management and also for personalized offerings to, the people who take that space?
With space management, the simple stuff is energy efficiency, underutilized spaces. How do you work in your space vis-a-vis how someone else works based on their geography, the generation, the locality, the micro market that they're going to. So AI really helps us analyze all that so that the experience that we are creating along with the space that we are creating is quite personalized. We curate a lot of employee engagement activities and we do a lot for our clients. What we are trying to do is personalize that experience almost like how Netflix recommends something. That's exactly what we are trying to curate with AI. And AI helps us with that at a macro level in terms of different regions work differently, and also at a micro level where BKC works very differently from a Thane micro market.
Sean Dix, Ipsos global leader in creative excellence, delivered a compelling presentation on how AI is transforming creative advertising, redefining the way brands connect with audiences in the digital age.
A lot of corporate leaders, we did a survey in 23 countries with corporate leaders around the world, and what we saw basically is that most corporate leaders say that AI will fundamentally transform the way that business operates today. But in the advertising ecosystem, that impact is quite large. And from the McKinsey report, we can see them estimating as much as $500 billion of savings in efficiencies. It's not about one or the other. We talk about being more human, and that ladders up to more connections, more relevance, more originality. But AI is really the enabler. It's a tool we have in our toolbox that can make us even be better, more efficient, as we saw. And the future really is about blending the two together. I think we've heard that as a theme today as well. That's the end of my presentation. Hope you enjoyed it.